Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about creating simple plans and diagrams. I think this is a funny description because there was a band in the 2000s, an emo sort of pop punk band called Simple Plan. So I read this and I laughed to myself. Anyway, I'm just going to run through a few different types of plans and diagrams so that you can see how they're made, and then you're going to have a go at making them yourself. So the first type of diagram that I'm going to look at is what I'm going to call a rough bird's eye view. Rough just because there aren't going to be specific measurements and it's not going to be perfectly to scale. Bird's eye view is something that we use to describe viewing things from above, and I'll quickly demonstrate why we call it that. If you imagine a house and then a bird flying above that house, if the bird was looking at the house, they would look downward, and so they would get an image of the house. You could imagine looking at now what the bird would see is maybe something like this, where they're looking down into the house and they're able to sort of see the floor. This would be the whole floor of the house, and there might be some things in it. Okay, so that's where the name bird's eye view comes from. I'm going to draw a rough bird's eye view of the classroom that I'm in right now. So I can, just looking up, I can see that there is a long wall over that side. There's a wall at the top that goes along about that far. Then there's like an angled part of that wall, and then comes down, and these corners meet a bit like this. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is just try to draw some of the major furniture in this room, and I'm going to try to keep it pretty consistent. Alright, so there are some tables. Funnily, the tables are 1.5 meters apart to observe COVID regulations, and I am going to use something like this to show that that is a table. The next thing I can see is a whiteboard, and I'll note that over here as well. White board. And the third convention that I want to show you, well, the third thing that I'm going to include, which is a bit of a convention, is this sort of thing. If I draw a straight line out from a wall and then a curved line, in the business, this represents a door. So I wouldn't even need to write it over here, but because we're just learning this, I am going to label that a door, and that is supposed to show, you could imagine that that door could swing around that curve and be completely closed, or could swing open this sort of way. Okay, now what your task is going to be is to create a map a bit like this. I should label this I should label this map. So classroom, oh, that should be one word, sorry. Classroom, and I'll even call this a key. And what you're going to do is you're going to create a bird's eye view, a rough bird's eye view diagram, either for your classroom at school, or you could do it for the room that you're in right now, or another room at your house. Then you're going to need to take a photo of that with your phone or with your computer, and upload that photo back onto OneNote. Cheers.